Hi, I'm Marshall with WholesaleMentary. Real quick, just a reminder about our premier partner program. It's the easiest way to get into wholesaling. You find the property, we call the seller, we negotiate the deal, we close the deal, and then we split the deal with you 50-50. It's totally free to partner with us. Now call us today to see if your city is still available. Now to today's video. Like I said, from conversating with Rico and deciding to partner with him, I definitely felt good about it, or I wouldn't have partnered with him because I've had some nightmare partners. Like I said, I've been in business for 21 years, so I kind of know how to choose a partner. And in the beginning, I didn't, and yeah, it was just terrible. But after that first deal, I was like, yeah, this guy here knows what he's doing. Definitely.
You're listening to the We Love Equity Real Estate Show, a podcast that discusses the intricacies of real estate investing with your host, Marcus E. Maloney. Marcus is a real estate investor best known for being the equity king. He's been awarded that moniker because he and his team find amazing real estate deals. He will be talking with investors who have done some transformational things in the real estate industry. They'll discuss their process, their strategies, and how their investments transform their lives and the communities they invest in. We welcome you to the We Love Equity Real Estate Show.
One, two, in the place to be.
Hey guys, welcome to another We Love Equity Real Estate Show. And on today's show, I have Rico and Marshall. These guys are based out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. They're doing some things with real estate wholesaling. I know that they're going to provide a wealth of information for you. They're partners. They're doing some things. Actually, I was following Rico on Instagram and saw some of the stuff that he was doing. He was on the phone, hustling, going back and forth with sellers and helping other people in the business get started. So I thought it would be great, to get him and Marshall on this call because I know that they'll have some great content for you guys. So without any further delay, I have Marshall, who's been a serial entrepreneur for over 21 years, man, just kind of doing anything he can get his hands on is for sale. So that's the type of person he is. And then Rico, just a brief background about him. He was working a regular 9 to 5, or I should say 10-hour shifts. Knew he was better than that, knew that it was something that he could do. Got wind of real estate investing, got wind of real estate wholesaling, jumped in head first. And now he is doing it and doing quite a few deals there in North Carolina. So without any further delay, Rico, Marshall, welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man. Thanks for having us
very much.
All right, not a problem. So I know I didn't do all that I could about your background. So let's start with you, Marshall, man. Give the audience, the listeners, a little background about you.
Okay, real quick. Well, basically, I guess I've always been an entrepreneurial, even back 11, 12 years old. Started cutting grass and such. But then once I turned in my early 20s, I actually was working at a grocery store, became store manager there. But always, had being an entrepreneur in my mind. So finally, one day, I was working for this other guy that owned a local moving company and started running all his things. And then one day I was like, well, I'm running it for him. I might as well do this for myself. Yep. So I started that moving company. And then after a couple of years of that, I went into investing in other businesses and starting some other businesses.
Okay.
And then I met Rico and we started real estate wholesaling.
So how did you guys...
Personally, I've been doing that for about a year.
Okay. So how did you guys meet?
about a year ago, I came across real estate wholesaling, watching The Breakfast Club,
Okay.
and a guy named Mark Whitten was on there. And I kind of watched that at the same time. I was looking to start another business. So wholesaling seemed pretty interesting. So I decided, yes, that's what I want to do. So I started calling bandit signs. That's just one of the things I started doing. When I want to start a business, I start trying to network in that industry. So I
Okay.
call like 6 bandit signs, and one of them happened to be Rico. He's actually the only one that called me back.
That
Um,
happens. That
yeah,
happens.
yes. So we started talking back and forth, and I liked what he said. He liked what I said, and we came together on this.
Okay. Okay. And Rico, man, give us a little background about you, man.
So I'm originally from Lexington, Kentucky. I moved to Fayetteville in 2009 for better opportunities. Really wasn't nothing going on for me in Lexington. Was young, was doing stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing, so I moved down here in '09. Started working at a factory, actually making tires, Goodyear
Okay.
Tire and Rubber Company. Um, so, man, I always knew I was better than just being a factory worker. So, like, every day I would go into the factory, I'm just like, oh, man, there's got to be something better than this freaking
Right.
12-hour shifts. So I knew I always wanted to get into real estate. So I was just, while working, man, just listening to podcasts and came across Sean Terry. And man, I listened to his videos over like at least 4 times over. Every video
Okay.
he has, I listened to it at least 4 times over until I got the concept of wholesaling. Because they don't always break it down step by step. You got to listen to like everything, and then you can piece it together.
Right.
Finally, when I pieced it together, I took action. Like the guy motivated me to take action. I put out bandit signs, and my phone literally blew up. My phone melted. Okay, with callers. So
Okay.
I was doing wholesaling for a while, part time while I was working, and then just had an opportunity to take a voluntary layoff at my job. And then when I done that, I went full time into real estate. I think I got maybe 4 or 5 under contract and closed.
Okay.
And I was like, it's a no brainer. I don't need to go back.
So let's kind of, a few things you said there that I want to kind of chop up and kind of dissect. So you said that you were listening, to Sean Terry, and he was, giving you the information. Very familiar with Sean Terry. Big ups to him. He's right here in Glendale, not too far from me. I used to go to some of his meetups and everything like that as well. So you got that itch, and you said you took action, and you started putting out the bandit signs. Were you afraid, kind of when that first call come in, kind of what was going through your mind, man?
Yeah, so like I didn't even answer the phone at first because I didn't know what to say. So I was just like, oh man. So I called. I was definitely scared, man. I was totally scared. I called people back. Like I said, I didn't know what to say. So I was like, man, I gotta reach out to another wholesaler, right?
Okay.
So I went on Craigslist. I found another wholesaler, and I told him, I said, look, man, I got like at least 100 leads, man. Like let's work together. So he was like, cool. So I linked up with him, and we started working them together. I would get the leads in, and he would close them. That's how I started out.
Okay. And that's very powerful. And I always tell people, you have to network. Both of you guys said, talked about networking in business, and you have to network, especially when you don't know, because you don't know what you don't know. You just knew, hey, I've been listening to a few podcasts. They said put out bandit signs. I did that. Now the phone is ringing. Oh crap, what do I do? And everybody goes through that. I mean, I went through it, and I tell people it's not the fear of doing it, it's the fear of the response from the seller. It's like, well, what if they say, come out and take a look at the house? What if they say, give me an offer? I don't know what to offer. I'm just, kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. And that's listeners, you definitely have to know. You don't have to have all of the answers. You just have to get started, with that first step of action, and then things will start falling into place. like Rico said, I didn't know, I just knew I needed to hook up with somebody that did know. So I went to Craigslist or wherever and found another wholesaler to work with. So doing that, how did that shape your business? What did you learn from that other wholesaler? I know you guys were closing deals. What did you take from that?
Yeah, man. So the guy I ended up linking up with, man, he had like 30 years of experience in wholesaling, man. He was an older guy, man, but he was just like had so much knowledge and wisdom. So I learned pretty much everything I know about wholesaling from him.
Okay.
He walked me through everything. He split the deals 50-50.
So let me ask you this, Rico. Did you guys have any kind of JV agreement on paper written?
In the beginning, no.
Yep.
But as in the beginning, no, we just worked on a faith system. But as he started like teaching me more and more, he would do the JV agreements with me just to show me, how to do business the correct way. And then from that point forward, yeah, we had a JV agreement on every property.
That's good. Because I get a lot of questions. I do these 15-minute free consultations and I get a lot of questions, and people are always asking, well, what if I send this deal to somebody? How do I know, they're not going to go behind my back and cut me out and stuff like that? And what I tell people is, yes, it's good to have that JV agreement in place, but sometimes getting started, you don't have that JV agreement because you're just now learning about wholesaling. You don't even know anything about a JV agreement, and with that being said, you do sometimes have to go off of that faith system. So like you said, hey, I had all of these deals coming in, or, I didn't even know if they was deals. I just knew I had leads coming in.
Yeah, right.
And I knew this guy had 30 years of experience. Hey, you know what? Let me sit with him, see what he can teach me, see what I can learn, and then we just build from there. So going on, you're closing these deals. What else did he bring to the table? Did he bring the buyers to the table? How were you guys selling these properties?
Yeah, so I would get the leads in.
Were they all through bandit signs, or were you doing?
Yeah, initially they were all through bandit signs. And that's all I knew was just bandit signs. I knew how to obtain lists, but I was like, bandit signs are working. That's what I'm gonna stick with.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, bandit signs, I was crushing it. I did get into some lists like inheritance lists,
Okay.
the absentee owner list, things like that.
So
we always did driving for dollars.
Were you pulling the list from like List Source or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, List Source, yeah.
So guys, listsource.com, you can go and you can pull lists.
Yep. And I want to say my inheritance list came from US Lead List.
US Lead List. Okay. Gotcha.
But initially, like I said, it was bandit signs, and then as I started closing more deals, I started getting into lists. But really, bandit signs was my main source.
Okay.
Main lead source.
So once you started closing these deals and you started making this money, did you go out to the strip club? Did you go out? What did you do, Rico? I'm putting you on the spot, man.
Yeah. Nah. I was putting my money right back into it, man.
Okay, good.
Because I wanted to scale up, I wanted to scale my business.
Okay.
So I would pay myself, probably like 15%.
Okay.
Just to go splurge, and I still have a family. I would buy them shoes and clothes, take them out to eat. But the majority of the money, man, I was putting right back into the business. I was throwing it right back into the business. Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very smart guy. So you got to don't make that one $10,000 check or $18,000 check or even $4,000 check and go and take a trip to South Beach, and blow it. Reinvest that money back into your marketing. That way you can create a sustainable business. So very smart, Rico. Did your mentor teach you that, or that was just something innate?
Nah, yeah, that was just something I like. It's just natural, man. I just knew to do it, man, to grow my business.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me about and Marshall, we're gonna get to how you guys, linked up and what you're doing now. But Rico, real quick, tell me about that first deal, man.
Oh man. So my first deal, right? So I called the guy up, and so my mentor was training me. I called him up, and the house was a fire damage house. Okay.
Perfect.
And I made an offer of like, I want to say like 5,000. And he jumped all over it. He's like, I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take it.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, cool, I'll send the contracts over. So when I hung up the phone, my mentor was like, look, man, no, you don't want he's like, no, man, he jumped all over it, man. He's like, we gotta call him back.
Right.
So I called him back, he talked me through it. I ended up getting it down to 2,500.
Okay.
And
so that's big right there. Just from that one conversation with your mentor, you saved 50% on the deal. So everybody say, well, I don't want to pay for a mentor. I don't want to. Dude, you just saved, half of your wholesale fee, or really half of your acquisition price right there in just that one conversation.
Right. That's true, man. That's true. So I called him back. We got it for 2,500. Got it on the contract, and his job, my mentor, he was always finding the buyers. By this time, I think maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks afterwards, we just had nobody biting on the project because it was a fire damage.
Okay. How long was your inspection period on that? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was 15 days. 15 day inspection period. Yeah.
So 15 days inspection period. Any earnest money? How much earnest money you put up?
We put I think he put $10 down earnest money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he put down a little bit of earnest money because it was a fire damage house, small,
right.
Small property right there. That's key. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you holding this property.
Yeah.
What's next?
We're holding this property, and my partner's like, man, somebody's got to buy this, right? So I reached out to a realtor. I was like, let me call this realtor, man. He's been calling my phone. So I reached out to the realtor, told him what I had, and he had a buyer for the property. Okay, he was like, he's got a guy that loves fire damages, and he's like, and what was so good about this one? It was next to the VA hospital down here in Fayetteville. So the buyer ended up buying it for $9,000. The realtor brought a buyer, he ended up buying it for $9,000, and he went and sold it to the VA hospital for I don't know how much. But
so you should probably go back and see how much he made on
yeah. Right. But I learned, like, next time go, see what's around in the area. Just reach out to the hospitals if you can, see talk to some person there and see if they may be interested in buying.
Absolutely. So something that you had everybody have this false misperception, that realtors don't like to work with wholesalers.
Right.
A lot of people say that. But like right now, I have a realtor that's scheduled to walk through one of my deals on tomorrow with the buyer. Guys, if anything, listen to what I'm saying is you guys have to incorporate realtors in your business. That's their job, is to bring buyers and close deals. You'll be missing out on a huge chunk of cash buyers if you're not working with realtors. So I just wanted to throw that little 2 cents in, on that one. And then also something else that you said, that property was next to the VA hospital. Yeah, you definitely need to go back and see how much the VA hospital paid for that house. Because they could have, do you know, if they just dozed it and extended the parking lot or anything like that?
Yeah, they extended the parking lot. So they dozed it down, leveled everything out. I think my mentor tried to reach out to someone at the VA. I don't think he had the right connections or the right numbers to reach out to anybody there.
Okay.
Yeah, just so happened that the buyer that bought it, I guess he knew the personnel at the hospital already. Yeah.
So guys, that's another source of buyers. Rico just told you something. Instead of always just looking for the traditional cash buyers, you got to look at what's in that area. It's businesses that's looking to buy properties.
Churches.
Like
buy property.
So I'll give you just a real quick example. I had a property, wasn't moving. This thing was completely trash. Actually, it should have been knocked over. If a good wind would have came, it probably would have knocked it over anyway. And it was a church on the next block. Church contacted me. Yes, we'll buy it. They wanted to extend their parking lot. And that's exactly what they did. So we made money, with the church. So good. So you got this first deal together. Now you run into Marshall. You and Marshall are starting to do some things. Tell me, you said you guys met. What did that first deal look like that you and Marshall worked on?
Well, it came from driving for dollars. Like I said, I've always been a go-getter, hustler. So once I found out about driving for dollars, I decided to just start on one side of the city and completely ride the whole city, every street, every dirt road. I just turned Fayetteville upside down until I got to the other end and tried to find every distressed property that I could find. So we plugged them into the app, and they responded back to one of our postcards.
Okay.
And then what's there, Rico? I mean, he's the killer out there, the sellers. So he basically had them melting in his hand as usual. And yeah, I really believed in wholesaling, and I had seen it done and talked to Rico. But until you get that first deal, and it's you really won't see it, you're like, wow, yeah.
Yeah, that cements everything. You know, once you can hear all of the terminology, you can know all of the steps and everything, but until that deal closes, then you're like, okay, this is real.
Yeah,
This is absolutely real. So you guys did the driving for dollars. Tell me about what's the numbers on the property? How did it go?
So
I definitely remember the second one, because that one just blew my mind. But the first one.
So the first one, I think we got it for 20,000. We got it for 20,000. And we had marketed for 32.
Okay.
And we had people negotiating. I think one guy came in at was it 27.5? 27.5, yeah, 27.5. So we ended up selling for 27,500.
Okay, that's a nice little profit. 7,500.
Yep.
On that. So, give me some tips, guys, on how you're one finding the properties. I know you said with that one you did driving for dollars. What are you guys doing now during everything that's going on? How are you finding deals?
Pretty much the same way. We work lists. We have our favorite list. Well, here in Fayetteville, you can still get out. So we drive for dollars. So pretty much the same way. The only thing that's changed is the type of buyers. We're kind of concentrating on more of the high wealth buyers because they love this kind of environment where they can buy lower and then of course sell higher later.
Right.
So we had to tweak our buyer list, but pretty much the rest of our operations are just full steam ahead as usual.
Okay. So what strategies did you guys use to kind of weed out your buyers, or put hey, these buyers in a non-COVID-19 pot, they're not active right now, and these buyers are absolutely active. How did you guys sort that out?
To tell you the truth, I mean, they kind of weeded themselves out. Yeah, we have a system how we kind of shoot out to all the buyers there. And a lot of them communicated back with us and say, hey, I'm just going to kind of find out what's going to go on with this COVID before I purchase any more properties. And then others, like, yeah, keep sending them. They're purchasing them. So that was pretty easy thing. Kind of self-feeding.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of similar to what we did. We did just a little marketing campaign. We sent it out through email, and it had like a Google survey. Are you still buying? Are you not buying? If you're not, if you are buying, what percentage of ARV are you looking for now? So on and so forth. Naturally, we didn't get a great response, but when we sent out, just like you guys said, we sent out a deal and we knew, who was buying and who wasn't from that response on that deal. So, all right, perfect. So now, Rico, you've been doing it for a while. Marshall, you're, starting to ramp up now. How did that closing that first deal, how did that boost your confidence?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, like I said, from conversating with Rico and deciding to partner with him, I definitely felt good about it, or I wouldn't have partnered with him because I've had some nightmare partners. Like I said, I've been in business for 21 years, so I kind of know how to choose a partner. And in the beginning, I didn't, and yeah, it was just terrible. But after that first deal, I was like, yeah, this guy here knows what he's doing. Definitely everything he said he was. So I was like, yeah, I'm really all in. I'm ready to turn it on up and let's blaze trails together.
All right. So now is bandit sign still a strategy? What's the marketing strategy now? If
not really. It's almost a headache because you got the city, you put them down, they take them up, and then you gotta dodge them. So there's too many other things you can do to even have that as a headache.
So guys, listen to them. Bandit signs are good getting started, when you're first getting started, because the barrier to entry is low. You can go and pick up, quite a few signs for about $100 or whatever. But once you start scaling, it becomes a headache because you have the city picking up your signs, you have people calling that's really not interested, so on and so forth. So don't want to discourage you from bandit signs, but there are other more effective ways in order to market. So with that being said, guys, direct mail, cold calling, SEO, what are you guys doing as far as marketing without, giving away your special magic?
Right. Well, we do have, based on our marketing funnel, we first reach out with ringless voicemail and a text at the exact same time. And if we don't hear anything at that point, we'll cold call them. We don't get them on the phone, we'll leave a message. And then if we still don't get a response, then we'll send out that postcard.
Okay.
So pretty much our funnel. And a lot of people, say dead leads. We don't think a lead is ever dead, even when they tell you to, go somewhere and quit calling me. Well, a year later, we're back to calling them.
Right back
so in our case, we don't believe in any lead dying. Right.
And so, guys, listen to that. You have to have multiple touches. That's one thing that you guys said. You're doing, ringless voicemail and text messaging. So that's 2 touches right there. I'm sure you guys are following up consistently, and then again, no lead is dead. Funnel them back through, life happens. Sometimes a person may be, nope, I'm not moving. I'm going to live in Fayetteville for the rest of my life. And then, hey, a job say, hey, I got this excellent opportunity for you to go to Mobile, Alabama. And now they like, hey, I need to sell. So it's the right time at the right place, consistently marketing, out to buyers, out to sellers, both on both ends. So you guys are doing the marketing, you're getting the deals. Is it just you two, or do you guys have, a team? Kind of what's the business structure here?
We have 2 assistants that prep list and kind of do the everyday busy work and prepping work. And we just started expanding. We do have a couple of people that drive for dollars here, but now we're starting to expand over the last month. Actually, in 16 cities now. We have people out there driving for dollars. Shout out to Deal Machine. We have them inputting the properties into Deal Machine. And then we'll analyze them, and basically we'll, if the properties turn into a deal, and then we'll split 50-50 with the person. We do it a little bit different. The people that we have in our Deal Machine that helps us find properties, they're actually our mentees. So they want to actually learn the business. So they're not just, hey, an employee that want to make some extra money. They actually want to do the business. But at the same time, we're teaching them, but they also can make some money, potentially make money at the same time.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to take a brief break right here. And then when we come back, we're going to roll more into the Deal Machine and how you're working with your mentees and everything like that to source more deals.
PropStream is the industry's #1 tool for locating distressed properties and connecting with highly motivated sellers with 100% coverage across the U.S. PropStream provides a deep dive into any property's specific details, making it easy to generate lists of distressed properties and contact to the owners. No other product or service can compare. Gain access to MLS property details like expired listings. You can pull accurate comps, even sale prices in non-disclosure states. This information is typically reserved for licensed real estate professionals, but is also available to you in PropStream. Gain access to unlimited nationwide property search, comparable home sales, targeted marketing lists, and owner contact lookup, built-in marketing tools, hundreds of filters to search and sort leads. Start your free 7-day trial now by going to proud.propstreampro.com/WeLoveEquity.
Okay, we're back with Rico and Marshall out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. They're wholesalers and mentors, and they're doing deals there. So before we left, we talked about Deal Machine and how you guys are working with your mentees. How do you guys have that set up, structured? I know Deal Machine is it's an app for driving for dollars. So kind of explain to us, for those that's getting started, if they want to use Deal Machine, how do you guys use it? How do you guys incorporate it in your wholesaling business?
Well, yes. Well, first of all, we have our YouTube channel, WholesaleMentary, and that channel we use to teach people. We make videos to teach people about real estate wholesaling, and a lot of people find us on there. They'll reach out to us, and we'll kind of break down the whole curriculum for the Premier Partner Program. That's the name of our mentorship. And then if they're ready to take the next step, they'll sign up through Deal Machine under us, and it's totally free. And they'll start looking for properties, and we'll teach them how to look for distressed properties, what to look for in a distressed property, what areas to look for distressed properties. And that's kind of like the first step. But as we go along, we just completely teach them how to be a wholesaler from top to bottom. But they will push the properties through the whole curriculum through Deal Machine.
Okay. And then I know with Deal Machine, you just need to put in the address, take a picture or whatever, and it'll generate a report about the property, the owner, who's the owner, tax records, everything like that. Okay. So I'll make sure I link that down in the bio in regards to Deal Machine. So guys, tell me, have you ever come to that almost breaking point where you, like, especially Rico, you've been doing it for, quite some time. You got to that point where it's like, man, I'm not closing the deal. Is this something that am I doing something wrong? Those self-doubts,
Yeah.
Have you ever crossed that barrier?
I have, man. I have plenty of times, but I want to say probably the most important time it really, like, I felt it was right when I went full time. I had just quit my job. I think it was 5. I had just got 5 on the contract, and I was like, man, once I close on these, I'll be good. It'll carry me over till I can get the next ones in the pipeline. And out of those 5, I want to say, like, all of them failed but one. Yeah, so I'm like, I don't have no money coming in now. I just went full time wholesaling. I don't have my job no more, so I'm living off credit cards. Mama, can you send me some money? So I'm like, oh man, I wasn't closing no deals, man. But I didn't stop. I never let it stop me. I was like, I got to build this pipeline up. Even out of those 5 that fell through, I revived like 3 of them. So that brought me to a total of 4. So out of the 5, a total of 4 of them I revived. Well, 3 of them I revived. 1 was still going. Closed on those, and just like the pipeline, like just building up the pipeline, man. I think I had 4 or 5 closing in the next month, and then just leading up to April, man. April, our biggest month, man. We have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we have like 20 on the board right now.
That's good.
That we're getting ready to close on, man. And that was in April. So I guess carrying over into May, we have like 9 closing.
Okay. That's perfect, man. And that's what I tell people. You face that adversity sometimes, and you be like, man, should I keep doing this or should I stop? What am I doing wrong? Then you get on Instagram or you get on Facebook and you see people posting, hey, I just closed 3 deals this month. You're like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
But you absolutely have to get over that, guys. You have to push through that adversity and make things happen. So April was you guys' biggest month. You did all of those deals in April. What's next? What's coming up next for you guys?
Let's see. Just started trying to really work this Premier partner program, our mentorship, and just help other people see that there's ways out, just opportunity, because lots of time people like the really wealthy people, pretty much the only reason they're wealthy because they actually have this knowledge, it's a lot of people who have all the drive and motivation in the world, but if you don't have that knowledge and know all these things out here in the world exist and these opportunities, well, your motivation means nothing.
Right. Absolutely.
So that's big. We're big with just letting everybody know and trying to help people with opportunities. Because once you start making money into real estate wholesaling, then you can start investing in myriads of other things.
Yep. So with that being said, are you guys looking, after because you guys are closing quite a few deals, are you looking into taking some of that capital and deploying it into, rentals or multifamily or doing your own fix and flips or anything like that?
Yep. Multifamilies, I think pretty much our next.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right before COVID hit, man, we was actually structuring a multifamily, partnership. We came across some great land, and we reached out to a builder who was gonna, bring the money. We bring in the land, getting the contract to do the work at cost. We actually had plans drawn up with the city, got it approved. But when COVID hit, it kind of put everything on pause. So, we're definitely trying to get into multi-families, but, like I said, right now it's on pause. But we're not letting that stop us. And if another opportunity comes up, we're going to jump right on it. But yeah, man, we're always trying to.
And speaking more on that, just want everybody to know, if you have something in mind that you want to do a project or something, and I know the first thing is like, hey, I don't have the money to do that. I would never be able to do that. But just stop and try to be creative. If you want to build those duplexes and you're a wholesaler and you come across a great deal on land, okay, well, you found land. Now reach out to a general contractor and say, hey, this is what I got. Are you interested? Would you build that duplex at cost for me? And then get paid on the back end from the rent. Go get 2 or 3 other cash buyers and you all do this thing together. So just got to be creative. Always be creative. There's always ways to get anything done. Just got to stop and think how to get it done.
And that's very key, Marshall, because a lot of people, they let those self-limiting beliefs stop them. They're like, well, I'm just a wholesaler. I can't go out and talk with a builder and try and structure, building something from the ground up. But, just like builders, they started somewhere. They're looking for opportunities. Everybody's looking for opportunities. It's how can you put those opportunities together? And it's not like you're not bringing anything to the table. You're bringing your education, your wealth. You know how to find deals, so you bring that to the table. Because I know a lot of times some of the deals that I've done, that's what happened. It's like, well, I have the deal, you have this, let's put it together and let's work it out together and see what we can do. And that's how, ultimately partnerships, come to play.
Yep.
So great. So how do you guys, there in Fayetteville, you guys got a large military population, correct?
Right.
So how are you guys operating? Are you wholesaling some to, service personnel, kind of anything like that? How are you guys working, or if you are even working with the military population at all?
Yep, pretty much all of the above. this is a complete military town. We're basically Fort Bragg, so, the biggest military base in the world. So a lot of our fix and flippers are in the military. So yeah, it's here in this town. You're always going to come across the military one way or another. Yeah,
I did an interview, a podcast some time ago with Shelby Osborne. She's with 5 Pillars, and so you guys know her. Yeah, reach out to her. She's doing.
We shoot deals over to her.
Yep. Okay. Perfect. And that's what I try and tell people. The real estate community, although it's massive in scale, you still only have a few real people that's out there doing deals and really taking action. Like I didn't know you guys until I was following you on Instagram. Just happened to come across some of the things that you were doing. And I said, oh, okay, well, I know Shelby. She's in Fayetteville. Maybe if I talk to them, hey, I could hook them guys up with Shelby. But you guys already have that, together. So that's good. But that's just the response when it comes to working together and networking and things like that. So, all right, guys, we are going to roll into our hot seat questions. I'm putting Rico and Marshall on the hot seat, guys. So let's get it started. Hot seat. All right. Starting over. What would you do different?
Let me go first.
Yeah.
All right. Starting over, what I would do different. Man, that's a hot seat question. What would I do different? What I would do different. Maybe you need to go first.
I go first. What I would do different is absolutely nothing.
Okay.
When I made the mistakes, I learned from them. I became better. I don't want to change something and then all of a sudden I'm not here where I am. So I would, not a thing. Now I would probably change how I picked partners in my earlier days. Because nightmares. But other than that, but I don't know if I'll even change that because that's how I learned how to find good partners.
Okay.
So I don't really think I would change anything.
Perfect. Okay. All right.
I do know what I would do different. I would have quit my job when I first found out about wholesaling. On my first deal, I should have quit right then and there and went full time.
Just jump right in.
Right in, yeah.
Okay. So what is your greatest commodity outside of capital? So outside of money, what do you think is your greatest resource?
Probably me. I'm very happy that I was born a super motivated person.
Okay.
I'll just all my past businesses, I'll learn the basics and then I'll jump right in and go hard as I possibly can. So that is worth a lot to me. And then that knowledge and put those two together and the capital and all of that, the money that was
Okay. So this is outside of the hot seat question, guys, but I forgot to ask this. How did you guys structure your partnership? Are you guys 50-50 or what are you doing?
Yep. 50-50.
Okay. All right. What is one thing that you can do to be more productive?
Man, what do we do?
That's a very good question. I'm gonna tell you like this. I think just on the surface, adding assistance and his past knowledge and my past knowledge, we're putting it together. But to be more productive, I don't even feel like this is work. So sometimes we'll come in and we're working, and then he'll crack a joke, then I'll crack a joke. Before you know it, it's an hour later. It's an hour and a half later. So it's just a fun environment. So if I had to choose something, it would probably we could shorten that, but I don't know if I want to shorten that because that just it makes it fun. It makes the environment fun. So.
If you can leave our listeners with one thing, what would that be? For those that are either looking into getting into wholesaling or looking into becoming a real estate investor in general, what is one thing that you can give them that sets apart those who are successful versus those who tried and failed?
Don't ever give up. Going into being an entrepreneur of any business, just know it's going to be ups and downs. It's going to get hard. You're going to second guess yourself sometimes, but just push through those barriers. If you can just get somebody in your corner, one person in your corner that'll hold you up and say, hey, you know why you started this. You know what your goals are. Get back on up and get back to work. So just never give up because, life is not perfect, So like we always say, work hard now to live your best future. And if you give up, you ain't gonna never live your best future.
You're right. Exactly.
Find out your motivation, the same way you would with your sellers when qualifying. Find out why you're motivated to wholesale. What's your motivation? Mine is my family. I'm real big on family, and to uphold my side of the partnership. So find out your motivation and what's going to fuel you to the next level, and just take action. Take action. Ain't nobody going to do it for you. You got to get out there and take action. And just as you run into problems, just learn how to fix those problems as you jump into them. Don't worry about, I need this contract. Just wait till you get to that point to worry about that problem. Just take on the problems as they come. Just take action one step at a time, and then you'll find your way through it.
All right,
that's huge because we get a lot of mentees. They'll worry about all this other stuff they don't need to worry about yet. Just jump in. You got the basics, and you got us. Jump in and go to work. And as we come across these other things, you deal with it then. So that's huge.
Absolutely. So, guys, we're wrapping up here. I want to thank you for imparting this wisdom and inspiration, to the listeners. So before we go, how can our listeners, if they're in Fayetteville or if they're online, how can they get in touch with you? How can we find you? How can they reach out to you guys?
Well, you can find us on YouTube and Instagram at WholesaleMentary. And then if you're just want to reach out to us by phone, you can just give us a call, 910-476-1679. We're here.
All right, guys. Well, I want to appreciate you for coming on. Did you have any last words, Rico?
Nah, that's it, y'all. Y'all just keep grinding, man. And thanks for having us on, Marcus. I really appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Keep working, keep striving, keep pushing, keep going forward. Success is definitely out there for you, but you have to go out there and get it. And always remember to enjoy the journey. Thank you for listening to today's show. I picked up some great actionable items, and I'm sure you did as well. If so, let me know. You can always reach me via social media at facebook.com/MRCSMaloney, Twitter at MRCSMaloney, and of course, IG at MRCSMaloney. You can also always reach me via email at mmaloney@equityri.com. Make sure you reach out to our guests as well. You can always find their contact information in the show notes below. If you have not subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Join the family. And while you're at it, leave us a 5-star review. This is how we tell if we're providing you with what you need for your journey. If there's someone you would like for me to interview, or if there's a subject matter you would like for me to cover, please let me know. Finally, if you're looking for additional information about real estate investing, go to equityrealestateblog.com. Also, youtube.com/Marcus Maloney. Until next time, family, always enjoy the journey.